Hi friends, welcome back to Tutorial Days, and in this video you are learning Angular PHP MySql register and login. So this is the second part of this video. In first video we have already created RESTful API using PHP and MySql. We created two files, one for registration and one for login, and we also tested with Postman and it was working successfully. Now in this part we are going to create Angular application from where we will do registration as well as login. So let's start first installing Angular, then we will proceed ahead. First let's open cmd. So I will check this Node.js command prompt, and then in my D drive normally inside this folder I'm going to create ng new Angular CRUD. This application I'm going to create Angular CRUD. Okay, now press enter and it should start the boilerplate. Press yes, installing now. Okay, now let's write here cd okay, npm start or ng serve I could have written. Okay, finally successfully now it compiled, and if you check here localhost and then port number 4200, so this Angular application started successfully. Now first thing that we'll do, let's open Visual Studio Code here, and then let's go to file and then open folder. So under D drive Angular 12 and then Angular CRUD, select folder. Okay, so this is our application. Now first thing that we will do is let's create a model. Okay, so now new, and then here we will create users.ts. So that will be our model file. Inside model, let's create a class. So here we have just created this model, users model. Inside export class users, and then constructor. Inside constructor we will pass our model value. First here we will write public ID, first name, last name, email, password, mobile. That means whatever we have created in table PHPMyAdmin, the field name, same field name we are creating here. And now under constructor we will pass the same thing, ID, then number. So only difference will be no public here, then comma, f name, string, l name, string, email, string, password, string. Just keep it in 2 lines, password string, and then one more field is remaining, and that is mobile number. Mobile, so string. Okay, now outside of this constructor, let's write these values. This dot id, fname, lname, email, So what is actually model? Model is for data holding, data storage. We will use this model while doing registration and other operations. Okay, so this is the first step that we did here. After this, we will work on f.module.ts. Here we will import forms module and then reactive forms module, reactive forms. One second, the throttle is not coming. So reactive forms module and then forms module. These two we need to, and then HTTP client. That one is also import HTTP client, HTTP clients module. Okay, now all these three modules needs to be imported under import section. This one, the forms module and reactive forms module, are for creating the forms, and this HTTP client module is for services. We will use in services. This one for sending and fetch and receiving data from API. Alright, so first we did worked on this file and then fmodule.ts file, and now users. Okay, what we will do now, let's create three component ngGC home. First we will create home module component actually, then ngGC generate component actually, ngGC, then dashboard, ngGC register, again ngGC login. So these are the components that we need to work on. Now let's go to Bootstrap CDN. And just we will include this here, index.html, before closing the head tag here. Extras is completed now. Now let's go to register component and open HTML. We will write here forms. So this is the code for registration form. So what is this? Registration, and then we are using here Bootstrap. So the basic thing is here we are creating this instance of this form group, and ng submit post data, this one post data, and we are passing this, and in this function this method we will create into our TS file. So form control name, first name, form control name, last name, email, password, so all the fields are here, mobile number, and register. Okay, So this registration, and then okay, so this is the code. Now we have to go to register component.ts here, and we will import here. This one we need to import in this file. So what are these? Form group, form control, form builder, validators, ngForm. And apart from that, from operators, we need to import this first in a routing API service. We are going to create this API service.ts. So let's go here under the app. Let's create API.service.ts. So this file we need to import there. We will write more code under that API service. Now create instance of that form, and that is ANGForm, and inside constructor we will have to call this as dependency injection. So the first one is form builder, second one is this API service, and the third one is router. And in this under the constructor we will call these things. Form control we are creating. So whatever name we have given here in register form, here form control, first name, last name, email, so same thing you need to write here also. Fname, lname, that means validators, it will be required. This will be also required. Email and minimum length 1, and email validators will be email, and then required. And apart from that we will create the function. Which function? This function, post data. So here we will write this post data, then Angular form, this one, this service, and then user registration. This function we will write here in API service, and we are passing here first name, last name, email, mobile, and everything. And then we will subscribe the data, and here it will navigate to login. Okay. Alright. Now if you try to run at this point of time, it will not run. It will show some error. So first we need to work on each API service, because we don't have this service for the time being. This function will come from API service. So now let's go to here and write the code. So here we need to call these classes, enter map HTTP client, and then users. Actually in our model the class name should have been capital, users here, so now it's fine. And then we will write here is URL. So remember, this is our URL. Which URL? This one. This is the base URL, right? Same URL we are passing here. And inside the constructor we are calling HTTP client. This will be responsible for fetching the data from our API. And then let's write code for registration, user registration. This is the same one here. this function we are calling from this service. So user registration, then we are passing here same way, first name, last name, email, password, mobile number, and then we will post the data to our registers.php. And so these are the fields: f name, l name, email, password, mobile. So these fields we will be passing to our REST API, and then from there it will return the value, whatever value we have. So now let's check here. So it is saying private API service. Okay, it looks like most have been just token for data service. So have we called here, is this API service? Yeah, we have. Then here it has successfully compiled. If you refresh, then nothing happens because we will have to write router for accessing our register. At this point of time, nothing happens. So now let's go back here and create one router. So inside app, now right click on here and new file, then approuting.module.ts, and then let's write this code. First you need to import ng module, then routes, router module, then home component and register component. These two components we are going to call at this point. So in here, path, name, home, and registration, and this one needs to be called into our app module.ts. So import this one, this class from app module, router module. Okay, this one, and this same we will have to import here also. Now if we try to open here register, then it doesn't open. So let's check in our router module what name we have given here. Okay, so name is registration. Okay, now let's try to open here. Still it doesn't open, right? So we need to go to app component.html. App component, where is it? Here. And let's delete everything and just write here router outlet. Now let's check. Yes, as you can see, now our registration form is showing here: first name, last name, email, password, mobile. So far you can see we have created the registration section. Now let's try to fill, say, Rajesh @gmail.com, password 12345, mobile, whatever, register. So here you can see it successfully, the data came into database. That means our registration part is working perfectly. So that's it in this video, guys. In the next video I will show you the login section, and then we will use AuthGuard for guarding the routes. So stay connected. See you in the next video. Bye bye.